Sahara, it's formerly known as the Gold Coast. Which in 1957 was the first country to go independent, African country to go independent, and 2010 it was the first African country to score in the World Cup. Aquatia is an eastern region. It's about north. It's about a 2-hour drive north of Accra. So just briefly, this will be a brief presentation talking about what it's all about, the team, as well as who it's for, and the why, to see why. Okay, so what we're doing is we're building a modern, sustainable library. We'll provide free internet access. It's also going to serve as a regional cultural center, and it's going to be powered by solar, so it'll be using the solar power energy. But more specifically, it's benefiting 20,000 children, 35,000 adults, so 55,000 people this project here will be helping. There are 45 schools in the region. There are no libraries in the region. I've brought this book, one of the schools in the region. There are no books. The children do not have books in this particular region. And on that note, I want to mention that I'm talking specifically about Aquatia. I'm not talking about the rest of Ghana, because there's a very lovely, thriving parts of Ghana as well, but this is particular of Aquatia. So the fact that there are no books at all, the children learn by memorization. But on this note, I want to present a little story, to give a little bit of an insight on these beautiful people. One time I had 5 children helping me to learn tree, which I'm not too successful yet, but I'm trying. And I did get to know that in the culture, you're given a Christian name, because most people are Christian, not the only religion, but Christian is definitely a strong presence. A local name and the day that you're born. My name is Amma. I asked the children, out of the 3 names, how do you know which of those names are going to use? And they said, well, our grandmother gives us this name. And I said, oh, okay. I said, what about when you grow older and you decide you want to choose one of the other names? Oh, you should have seen the look in these children's eyes. There would be no way that they would disrespect their grandmother. So I learned that was a very extremely strong characteristic of Ghanaian. But not only that, but they didn't disrespect me for asking such a silly question. So I just wanted to point out that that's one of the strongest characteristics of a Ghanaian is the respect factor. A bit more of the specifications. The building is a substantial size. It's 12,800 square feet. We're starting modest. We're starting with 10 computers, internet access, and we're wanting to really have some programs. We want it to be a live learning center. And not just as a building, but it's really a center for education. There's also proof to say that we're believing this community. With our help, we're actually showing this community, these 20,000 children, that we believe in them. I know as a child, one of the biggest characteristics that my father instilled in me is a belief in yourself. So in this project, I really wanted to show that we're believing in them. Part of the sessions will be everything from how to use a computer, very introductory. But you know what? We're also going to have how to use a book, because children don't know that to flip a page and whatever. They've never had access to books. So just all kinds of things and have storytelling and we're really wanting to make learning fun. So very the certification program as well, so that some people who are certified then could perhaps come back and teach others. So really different types of healthcare as well. We want to make this sustainable. We want to make sure that it's thriving, so that the energy will be solar energy. The salaries are paid by the government. So it's sustaining itself is what I'm trying to say. It's not just how is it going to survive. So these are the plans on how we'll keep the costs in check. I just want to point out that this is a scholarship project. It's going to be the first library in the whole region. It'll be the first training center in the whole region, the first performing arts center, renewable use of renewable energy, and first water purification. So it's a real starship project, and it's going to have a huge impact. I mean, there's all these different features in this one building, so it's a very significant project. Which brings me to another characteristic that I'd like to share with you. One time I was watching some young boys playing football or soccer, and they were using makeshift items for goalposts. And 2 boys were running towards each other gently. One boy had shoes and one boy did not have shoes. The boy with shoes took off his left shoe and gave the boy with no shoes. The boy with no shoes put it on his right foot. and therefore we got an extra kicker on the team. So teamwork, without even an exchange of words, that was what it was all about, and therefore they knew that the team would be stronger now that they shared. So I just want to point out that that's another strong characteristics that I've noticed, is that collaboration is very strong in this culture, this local culture. And speaking of partnerships and collaboration, I'm proud to say that this team, this project, has the University of California, San Diego, specifically the Jacobs School of Engineering. We're in collaboration, and there's a program that they have at the school that you sign up to be part of a project instead of like a regular course, per se. I'm pleased to say that 50 students have signed up to be part of this. Now I'm helping the students with their project. I'm acting as their client, presenting a design to come up with 7 different aspects that they're going to help out with. And it's just wonderful to see the change, because these students are going to learn about this area and how it's like in the developing world, and they're going to benefit from the project having different aspects like solar-powered water pumps. So the community at large is going to benefit from this collaboration. Another collaboration of the American Solar Energy Society, very specifically the San Diego Renewable Energy Society chapter. They're also endorsed this project. In fact, one of the board members just stood up and said he wants to be part of the project, and now he's acting as the advisor to the students of the UCSC. He's actually a 10-year expert in solar power, so we have that part of our team as well. Another partnership is the National Society of Black Engineers. Tyrone Hunter is the director. He's a mechanical engineer, especially in sustainability as well as acoustics. So since this building is both sustainable as well as a performing arts center, it's a great fit for him to be involved as well. And I understand that Microsoft actually does have a nice link already with the National Society of Black Engineers, and a few members are actually working here as well. Another partnership is with Mr. David Weiner. He is a renowned playwright. He's actually started the Shakespeare in the Park San Diego. He stepped up and said he wanted to help put together a program for this library. There are, like I said, there is no set place right now for performing arts, and he's putting a program together, which is absolutely very thrilling. Another partnership that's not up there because it's relatively new is with a nonprofit called One Village. Mr. Jacob Odani, who is a Ghanaian, who's actually currently in the States completing his master's. He's actually already has experience with setting up computers in rural areas around Africa and also in Ghana. The One Village mission is to empower communities with appropriate ICT that provides and ensures sustainable development. I'm honored to have him as part of the team. All I have to say is that we have strong members, strong capabilities to make the round package. Not only do we have those partnerships, but we have the endorsement of the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Ghana, the regional chief, Nana Akpati-Ahene. In fact, I spoke with him this morning to let him know that I was here. The sub-chiefs, because the region of Akpati, there are smaller villages as well, have their endorsement as well. And this project is comprised of volunteers. It's a very grassroots effort. So we have different specialists helping out. And the local labor force, the walls were put up by the locals. So we have definitely the interest of everybody to make this a success. If anybody would like to volunteer, that would be a pleasure for you to join the team as well. The different phases of the project, the land we have already was donated by Nana Akpati-Ahene. The building plans were drawn by local Ghanaian Mr. Dawson, and to date we have the walls are up. This is progress. This is the building plans, and you can see that the walls are up. So if you use your imagination, take off the roof and the windows, you can see the comparison of where we are in the structure. We are going through with working with the University of California, San Diego, and you can see the different parts that are left to be had. The timeline. Well, in fact, I have to put a little note here that the timeline personally started when I was 20. I was actually an engineering student. I traveled by myself to Africa, and I could not understand the imbalance. I kept wondering, though, until now, what could one girl do? And well, I began research in 2008 to see what kind of building or notion I could come up with. And on another side of this story is Nana Akpati-Ahene. For 10 years, he wanted to have a library in his region. So he's definitely a chief that wants progress, but of course, funding is the challenge. So back to today, we are now in collaboration with the university. I go to the classroom every couple of weeks, and I act as their client, which is pretty thrilling to see 50 engineering students now, go in collaboration. Having another fundraiser that's going to be called Fundraising the Roof, all cliches inappropriately. But then I wanted to also point out that this picture was taken this year in 2010. This is a classroom in the region. So whilst I was there 20 years ago, and surprised at the state of things in some parts of our world, this picture was taken in 2010. So that's just wanted to point that out. The fundraising, of course, will continue. But however, here's where I'd like to point out that the third week of March is the regional festival. And that's what handing is one week to hold a festival. And it would be just wonderful to have more progress in the building, just to show the residents that we believe that we're part of this. It would be great to have at that point, the roof or windows or a significant amount of progress at that point. But that's kind of the plan for now. And here we come to the budget. So as I was mentioning about the roof and the windows and that sort of thing, the cost of that is around $50,000. The solar panels, we're sort of working out the calculations right now of the local suppliers and just the different costs. We're estimating 30. As you can see, it's very basic technology right now. It's a 10,000, but that's easy for now. But just again, this whole project is very modest and scalable. That's the whole purpose of this, is that start relatively small and build up. But it's a very modest sum. Okay, and then the future programs. All right, future reminds me of children, and here's my third and last story. While I'm there, the rumor starts going around that my days of that particular trip are coming to an end. So I have the children coming up to me and saying, "Oh, Jack, when you're leaving, why are you leaving us?" I said, "Well, but you know that you hold my heart when I'm gone." And they look at me all with sort of inquisitive eyes, and then I say, "Because every time that you smile, you take a piece of my heart." And they sort of think for a little moment, and then, of course, a big smile comes out. See, you've just taken another piece of my heart. And the last is a demonstration of appreciation. That's the third most strong characteristic, I feel, of this region, of this big culture, is appreciation. So here we are. These are some thoughts for the future, a mobile library, because there are various residents further out from the village itself. All different thoughts as well. But more importantly, the thought of duplication. I would love to just be an actual blueprint. We get everything right, get all the collaboration, and then roll it out. Why not roll it out? I even have thoughts of places, Winneba in the south, and Kumasi in the central, Osu west, Tamale in the north, and Accra, the capital. And why not the rest of the world? Why not the rest of the world? That would be a nice thought. So here we go. Here's the ask part. As we mentioned, the festival is coming up. It would be really great to have 50,000, and we sort of figured out that 1,000 donors at a minimal of 25 a piece, but then we would reach our goal. And I also want to point out that I have done research, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation do have an award, and I believe from the criteria, it's an absolute match with this project, except that the building needs to be up. So with your help, the building would be up, and then therefore I could submit the grant, which as you can see is already ready. And so I would love to then be able to come back next year at this time and show you the progress, to show you the fruits of your generous support. If you do know of any other NGOs, any other NGOs that are involved in Ghana or beyond, please let me know. I would be happy to collaborate, to exchange with the funding and so forth. But just to point out that this is an absolute grassroots effort, that like almost 99 cents per dollar goes directly to help out. It's definitely a nice thought. But on that note, I'd like to end with a quote. It says, "Literacy is a bridge from misery to hope. It is a bulwark against poverty and a building block of development, an essential complement to investments in roads, dams, clinics, and factories. For everyone, everywhere, literacy is, along with education in general, a basic human right. Literacy is the road to human progress and the means through which every man, woman, and child can realize his or her full potential." This quote was written by Mr. Kofi Annan, Ghanaian diplomat, 7th Secretary General, 2001 Nobel Prize winner. Madasi. Thank you for your time, and specifically thank you for your consideration.
Thanks, Jack.